Hello, everyone. We are officially live. I'm here today with my guest, Amy Killingsworth.
Hello.
And I'm so excited to have her here and be my guest. I wanted you guys to meet her because she has came into my life and I feel like she has made a big impact and I looked up to her and she is wonderful and she's definitely a woman that's making history. She's making history in the lives of others by improving their health and also putting them into their very own homes, which is exciting. So I'm going to get started and just tell a little bit about myself because today we are streaming live to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Hello, everyone. If you want, you can put your name in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them and just share where you are watching from today. But I am Marshall Harris, and I am a National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach. I am a doTERRA Impact Wellness Advocate, a sound healer, speaker, author, and advocate. I am the author of two books, Cancer Won't Stop Me, Unleash Your Power Within to not just survive, but thrive after a diagnosis. Become a Cancer Boss, unlock the keys to boss cancer, and not let it boss you. And I'm also the founder and CEO of Wellness for Life, LLC, which was created to help cancer survivors advocate for their own health and wellness so that they can navigate through the healthcare system with confidence. All right. So I want to take some time to let my guest, Amy, introduce herself and share whatever she wants to share with you guys.
So after that list, it sounds like you're the one making history, Marshall. That's a lot. You're doing a lot. You're making a lot. So when she told me she had me with this title of making history, I was like, no, that's a big title. Like I'm just doing my life, and but it's impacting. So my name is Amy Killingsworth. I met Marshall. Gosh, was it 3 years ago? 4 years ago? I don't.
About 3 years ago. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I had a booth for, I'm a wellness advocate with doTERRA, and I was sharing natural solutions in the community at a booth, and Marshall happened to come by and grab a little sample, and we just stayed connected, and it's been wonderful to get to know her. So I live in Noonan, Georgia. I am married. My husband Todd is amazing. I love my husband, and I have two incredible young adult now stepsons who are now out of the house. So learning that whole empty nester world. But as Marshall said, I've been a wellness advocate since 2015. So I've been doing this 9 years. Sharing natural solutions. And then just more recently in the past few years been a real estate agent here in the South Atlanta area. And so those two worlds keep me busy. I have, yeah, I kind of dabbled in a lot of things over the years. I kind of come from a nonprofit ministry background. But this is where God has me now. And I love just serving whoever kind of comes across my path. I love growth. I love educating. And so both natural solutions and in the real estate world, there is an aspect of educating and helping people make informed decisions of what's going to be best for them ultimately. So, Marshall, thank you for having me here. And yeah, I'm here.
Well, you're so welcome. And I just want to thank you for being my guest. So
Absolutely.
I invited people this week to come to be interviewed because you are definitely making history and you have impacted my life in some form or another. And like you mentioned before, we met during a time in my life when I was going through cancer treatments. And I was seeking natural solutions and wasn't really sure where to find them or where to go. And I feel like God put you in my path for a reason. And so I feel like we have became friends as well as doing this advocate business together and sharing to the world about natural solutions. I feel like a lot of people don't really know about all the natural things that are out there. And I
Yeah.
don't always want to keep it a secret, but I do share to the people who I feel like are open to hearing.
Yeah.
But essential oils are changing our lives. It's changed mine. And so I'm just so thankful that you introduced me to them. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely.
Has been amazing for me. And I'm just so happy. So I would like to start with my very first question. So
Okay.
when did your health journey begin and how did it change your life?
Yeah. So when you say health journey, like I don't even think that was even a thing on my mind until my early 40s. Like I was just doing life before then and did my normal doctor visits and did life. But for me in my early 40s is when that wonderful world of perimenopause, that whole new term that people are starting to throw out there a lot more commonly now. Um, my health just started doing weird things. My sleep got weird. My, cholesterol numbers started getting weird. And then the normal aging, just aches and pains and all. Anyway, 40s, everything started hitting. I was like, oh, I probably should take care of myself. I probably should do something. And so it kind of just started like in the past decade. And it actually started at the same time that I was introduced to doTERRA. And so my health journey, when I think of my health journey, it was finding, doctors who are integrative and open to natural options, while also coupling it with removing toxins from my home and how to replace that with natural things. So yeah, so I'm still in the middle of my health journey. Probably that will just
Yeah.
continue with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It kind of happens as you get to a certain age, you don't lose weight as fast, your metabolism slows down,
Yeah.
menopause, all the things happen, and you started
Yeah.
taking a lot serious then.
Yeah.
For me, it was when I got diagnosed with breast cancer, but it actually happened a little bit before that as well, but definitely got more serious about it when that happened.
Wow.
So what was your first experience with essential oils?
So I honestly, I'd never even heard of the term, until a little over 9 years ago. I was at my friend Jennifer's house and she had this cute little box with all these little cute little bottles and they all smelled cool. And I was like, oh, well, this is fun. Kind of like a little chemistry set is what it reminded me of, just fun. And she started telling me all the things that they could do and help with. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like magic. Like, what is this? So I immediately got my little starter kit and started studying and dove in and kind of went hard in it from the beginning. Um, my normal world was every winter, I would just get sick, respiratory sickness, and usually it would linger and not clear up very well and turn into some sort of infection. Like that was just normal. And so with essential oils, my first experience, it didn't happen immediately. I noticed it probably the second or third year of using them consistently. I realized the past few winters, I haven't gotten any kind of infections. Like I get sick, but it just goes away. And that was not normal for me in the past. We had at that point, after 2 or 3 years, replaced a lot of the air fresheners in our home. We're now diffusing. We replaced cleaners. We replaced just a lot of what we were using, just for, managing some of the symptoms of things we had and things like that. So that's how it started. But the real impact of what it was doing for me took a couple years to actually see.
Okay, wonderful. Well, that sounds great. I'm glad that you finally started them and got them in your home and have
Yeah.
been using them. So when
Yeah.
it comes to essential oils, we've been talking about that. What are actually essential oils and how do people use those safely?
That's a good question. And I would encourage anybody to jump on a 101 class and learn all of it. We won't do that here. But if I had to put it in a nutshell, so essential oils, they actually come from plants. They're extracted and distilled or cold pressed from, rinds of fruit or petals or leaves, bark, grasses, just different things you find in nature. And they're highly concentrated compounds. So you only need literally just a little drop. And when you talk about essential oils, there's so many, that word is overused. I think there's things out there labeled essential oils that are not true essential oils. And then there's things that are labeled essential oils that are just a different grade. I'll leave it at that. I was introduced to, I think I mentioned doTERRA essential oils, and those are certified pure tested grade. And so those are the kind of oils that I use and I recommend, and that even my doctors have recommended me to kind of stick with. The reason I like that is I know the science that's backed them up, so much science and just research. And then they actually provide the education of how to use them safely. You're asking, how do you use them? I like to use them aromatically. Like I said, we replaced all of our candles and air fresheners. I was a big plug-in air freshener person. But as soon as we cleaned out a lot of that and replaced it with just natural options like diffusing oils, so much of our sinus and respiratory stuff cleared up. So aromatic is great. We use them topically. I will always recommend people to use them with a carrier oil or some kind of carrier base, like a lotion, a cream, a fractionated coconut oil, just to prevent any kind of skin sensitivity issues. And then we actually use some of our essential oils internally, and those I only recommend those that are from doTERRA that are marked have a supplemental facts label on them, and it talks about you can actually use them internally. Outside of that, I would be very hesitant to do it internally. But yeah, for real, like there's 101 classes every week, and if you know Marshall can definitely hook you up with them, and it gives you a very big takes what I just said and kind of unpacks that over 30 minutes of more in depth of what they are.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know a lot of people are, when I tell them that I use essential oils and I've been using them to impact my health, and to this is one of the things that's making a big change, they are really unsure about taking them internally or using them or anything. So I'm glad that I have you here to vouch for me.
I'm with you. I'm on the same page.
Oils. So, and can people clean with them as well?
Yeah. So when I first started with essential oils, I had all these homemade recipes where you add like other ingredients like vinegar and things like that. And I would use an On Guard oil. I like that blend because it has just a lot of properties that help really clean. And then lemon oil is amazing for gunk. If you just want to do a fun experiment, like with kids around, kids love this, adults love it too, is take a styrofoam cup and put a couple drops of doTERRA's certified pure tested grade lemon oil on that styrofoam cup. And in a few minutes, there'll be a hole in that cup because it actually breaks down the petrochemicals. And so because of that, it's great for cleaning gunk on the kitchen stove, that stuff that just gets stuck and it's hard to get out and break down. If you get gum in your hair, you can put some lemon oil on it and it'll break down the gum and not your hair. So you don't have to get the scissors out and cut it. We actually had a bread bag on our toaster oven one time. We left it on there and forgot and started toasting something, and the bread bag just melted over our toaster oven. And you had like the emblem of the brand of the bread, bag on the top of the toaster, and nothing would get it off. And we were like, oh, lemon oil. We got our lemon oil, put a couple drops and just wiped it, and it just took it right off and cleaned it great. So that's just a little bottle that I like to have in all the time just for cleaning. And it just smells great. So when you're cleaning, like in your bathroom or whatever, you're getting this citrusy blend. So yeah. So anyway, that's how I started using the oils for cleaning. But now I actually just use this might be the lazy way of doing it, the pre-made cleaning right. The Bode line and On Guard line. So I just use all that now. Keep it simple. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I do want to add that doTERRA is not only essential oils, they actually have supplements, cleaning supplies, like Amy just talked about here, everything that you need for natural solutions, which goes very well with my business, to be able to offer products to my customers for not just, for exercising and nutrition, but also be able to provide some non-toxic products for them as well. So I definitely appreciate doTERRA and love them for that. All right. So moving on to self-care. What is something that you like to do for self-care?
Have self-care. Like I'm probably not the best person. I'm not the role model of self-care. I will be honest with that. I really struggle in that area, but things that I have currently put in place and kind of always come back to when I feel like I've kind of gone out of control in that area and I need to reel it back in, is I like to have a set bedtime. I personally like 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Like that, I can tell such a difference when I just have like a full night of sleep and not just 6 hours, because they say it's okay, 6 hours you can manage. I don't want to just manage. I want to like feel like I've actually rejuvenated. So sometimes I have to go to bed early and shut things off early. But doing that, putting myself on a schedule, like this is when I start work, this is when I stop work. Otherwise, I am someone who would probably work all day. I just get into something and I get zoned and focused, and getting outside. And now that it's getting warmer, that will be so much easier for me. It's hard for me to motivate myself to go outside when it's cold, but when it's warm, whether it's in my backyard or it's gardening or just taking a walk, like those are finding something that you just enjoy that just kind of slows your mind down a little bit, is always going to be helpful.
Yes, I definitely would have to agree with that. I love self care and make sure I do something for self care every day. So I love the idea of getting outside into nature and walks. The essential oils will help, calm things down, help you
Yeah,
sleep. So
yeah,
it kind of assists you on your journey of whatever you're doing for wellness. So
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
All right. So let's move on to how you got started in real estate. How did that happen?
Okay, well, that I was not planning on at all. My husband was a real estate, still is a real estate agent, and he'd been doing it about a year. And he kept saying, "Come on, Amy, get your license. You can come with me. You can help me." And I was like, "Well, I can come with you on these showings and not have my license. So
Mhm.
why do I need my license?" So I started assisting or going with him on these showings, and when you're not licensed, there's things you're not allowed to say. I just had to basically stand there and watch. And so I started getting like, well, I want to be able to say stuff too. Like I'm starting to learn this industry and I know there's some things that they need to know. So I started, so he challenged me to, he's like, just get your license. Let's just see where it goes. So I did. And that was, I think 2 years ago. And so we became a team. May actually will be our new little him and us, our team anniversary. For Killingsworth Realty, and we love it. We now do this full time, and I'm actually surprised how much I love it, and actually feel like God had prepared me for this just from past jobs. So it's cool.
That's wonderful. I'm just so happy you're happy.
It's fun.
I used to think that I wanted to be a real estate agent too, just because I like looking at new houses all day.
Yeah,
So that's a good enough reason.
it's a little bit more than that, and I have learned that. Todd and
So
I used to have date nights where we'd just go look at houses. This was before real estate days. Now we don't do that anymore because that's not date night.
all right. So how do you feel like being an agent is affecting your community?
Um, so I think like my personal community, I'm becoming a resource. I have learned just through other ventures and jobs and things like that. Like when you start something new, like brand new, like people who know, like you've never done this before, like this is new. People, they just watch you for a little bit. They're like, is she serious? Is she really going to be able to do this? They just kind of stand back and watch. But then after, I'd say about that 6-month mark where you're still going full force and doing the thing, and we were doing real estate, all of a sudden I became a resource, and people started contacting me, asking me questions about the market or buying a house, and should I rent, should I buy, is this a good time to buy, what's the market doing, just all of a sudden I'm that resource person in my community. And so because I love the education process and helping people first help them learn where they are, help them identify where they are in the process, and then help them identify what the next steps would be towards whatever goal they tell me they're working towards. So it's very personalized, a lot of education, and just becoming that resource and that person who's willing to kind of walk side by side with them. And so that's kind of what's happened with my community here, like my personal community, the people around me that know me. Where now, I have friends that, are trusting me with their real estate transactions. And I love being able to serve them with that. So, yeah.
Yeah. I know they really appreciate you because you're someone that they can trust. So
Yeah.
it's always nice to have someone to work with that you can trust that has
Yeah.
their best interests.
Yeah.
So, do you think that you would use your skills you've learned in real estate to get your dream home, or are you already in your dream home?
That's an interesting way you said that question. So, the state of my home right now is not my dream home, but I love our location. I love neighbors. Todd wants us to move to like somewhere with 250 acres and people live like, miles away. I'm just like, no, no, no. I need to know I can walk out my door and I'm going to have my neighbor next door. We're still trying to figure out where we're going to land with those two complete end of spectrum dreams. But I mean, I'm more like the home I'm in. I wouldn't mind turning this into my dream home. Like there's things I would love to do and add to and change and adjust where would make it my dream home. But being in real estate, I now have connections to all the like contractors and, just different resources that I didn't have before, where I'm just like, oh, okay, I feel like I could actually do this now. So it is
Wonderful.
fun. It's fun to dream.
Yes. All right. I did forget to ask you one question about oils. So do you think it's safe for cancer survivors to use them?
I think so. I mean, we anytime I share essential oils, I share them because I believe that they're natural. I believe that they're safe for anyone. Well, I will also say I am not a doctor, and I will say that, if you have any concerns about using them in whatever your health issue is, like have that conversation with your doctor or do some research on your own of finding medical journals because they're out there. There's some actual medical documents that talk about essential oils, and don't just write it off just because you're unsure. Definitely look at it and reach out. But I mean, they're natural. They work with our body. I can't see why they would be bad. But again, like I say, I'm not a doctor, so I don't.
Right.
But I definitely think that they would be beneficial.
Okay. Hold on a second. Let me hush my dog up.
Dog, got a dog.
Shy. Shy. Be quiet. I want to call, girl. She like,
Bye bye, doggy. Poor thing.
she's just being shy, my little sweetie pie. All right. So
She wants to sit in your lap.
so sweet. All right. So one other question. Do you think that home ownership is important and why?
I do think it's important in the sense I would much rather, I'm going to talk from a personal perspective and then as if you were like a client of mine. Like, I would rather own a home and be paying monthly towards something I own rather than something that someone else owns. I enjoy building equity. I enjoy the fact that it's mine, that I get to choose when I move out, not when someone tells me my lease is up or they're going to have to, there's just so many more benefits with owning a home. Now, if you are someone who is in a situation where you don't own a home, you're living still with mom and dad, or you're renting or whatever it is, and you're thinking about buying a home, obviously, there's a lot of things to consider. It's much more, it's very different than, if you've never bought a home before, it's very different than like when you buy a car, you see the price, you get a loan and you start paying monthly things. Like when you're buying a house, you have to have some good savings on hand for closing and lender fees and earnest money and things like that. You need to have a good credit score. You need to get approved for a loan. So you're going to have to have an income that can sustain long-term a monthly mortgage. And so there's things that you definitely should consider. So I can't say it's for everybody, but I definitely think it's something that everyone should work towards. So if you're at a place right now where you're renting and you're toying with the idea, should I get a house, rent, what do I need to do? I would always say, talk to your lender. If you don't have a lender, I have lenders you can connect with. And just find out where you stand. It's hard to know where to go and what you can and cannot do if you don't even know where you are. And you want to know where you are. You want to know, what can I qualify for? Is the amount I have in savings enough? Is the income I have give me enough buffer to have a mortgage and still have money for groceries and everything else I need to have? If you pass all those checkpoints and it makes sense to buy a home, by all means, I would encourage you to buy a home. Home prices are still going up, not as drastic as they were over the past couple of years, but it's very slowly. The value is still going up more than down. And it would be yours, and you would be in charge of when you move out, and you'd be in charge. Have something now when you go buy another home, you have some equity that you could maybe put towards that home when you sell this home. So I'm a big fan on home ownership, but I also want to be realistic, and I understand that not everybody's at a point where they can do that. But I think everyone can get to a point to do that if they wanted to. Yeah.
Yes. Great information and great questions to kind of evaluate your situation. I think definitely being a homeowner is so very important. I can imagine renting, but
Yeah.
I can imagine it. But I do hope that everyone decides to get a home in the future and one day. And so I would like to just ask you, how can someone work with you who would like to, or how can they follow you or reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. So my husband and I were licensed in the state of Georgia, but we do work with a team that allows us to partner into Alabama, So whether you're Alabama or Georgia, we can assist you. You can reach out. We have Facebook. We're Killingsworth Realty on Facebook, on Instagram, just on the web, killingsworthrealty.com. I know it's a really long word, but we have a really long last name. But yeah, I would love to help you. And what I usually do is someone reaches out. The first thing I want to do is just, whether if you're not local, then at least, I like face-to-face. Sometimes it's Zoom. Sometimes if we have to just do phone, but if you're local in the Atlanta area, sit down over coffee or something and just talk. And I just want to learn where you are in life, what your goals are, what you're wanting. And then I want to do a little bit of educating on the process, the kind of the step-by-step, and kind of just make a game plan of going forward. So kind of like a consultation, I guess, before starting the process, making sure it's the right time for you, connect you with a lender if you need to, just have that financial conversation. Yeah. So yeah, Killingsworth Realty.
Yes, I would definitely put all of that information in the comments so people can go to your website and check you out. Is there anything else you would want to share with anyone before I let you go?
I'm just thankful that you let me come on and talk a little bit. I think this is actually the first time I've talked about both of my worlds at once. Like, I'm usually either talking about oils or talking about real estate, but this is the first time they kind of came together. So
Yes,
fun.
I think this is a good fit because when it comes to health and wellness, you also need to have a great home, a great foundation. You need to be safe. So I think it all kind of goes together for this week.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Amy, and thank you for taking the time to be interviewed and answer questions so that you can help the people that trust and follow me. And I hope that we can do this again soon in the future. I want everyone to know that I am Marshall Harris. This is Amy Killingsworth. Thank you so much for your time today. I am a health and wellness coach, and what I do is I help people reach their healthcare goals. I also help cancer survivors advocate for their own health and wellness so that they can navigate through the healthcare system with confidence. If you need more resources, clarity, or knowledge about being a cancer survivor and how to get through that journey, I would love for you to get both copies of my book and reach out to work with me. Have a wonderful day. Bye.